gonna paint.
Recording in progress.
Sorry, let me just try to find this. Okay, so today we're gonna do a painting. So let's get our materials. So remember, we need our first primary or three primary colors, which are blue, red, and yellow. I'll let you grab the supplies, then I'll show you the picture that we are doing today. So today we're gonna use red, white, yellow, and blue, and a little bit of black. If you have green, you can use the green as well. Remember to have your water, brushes, and paper towel. And so now I'm going to move my camera so you can see the picture that we're going to paint today. Sorry, let me just open the file here. And then I'll let you take a picture. And I'll put it right on the side. So it is a nice fruit bowl. And I think just to make it a little bit faster, we're gonna start with paint. We're not gonna draw first. We will be drawing with our brushes. So I'm gonna grab a long brush like this. Or where's the camera? Just like that. And let me put the picture right next to it so you can use it as a reference. You may have to move this back a little bit. And I'm gonna start with a long brush like this, and I'm gonna pick a color to draw the outline. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly as we see here, but it'll be nice just to get a nice idea. So the first color I am going to mix or use for my base color is some kind of a orange brown color. So let's mix that. So for the first color, I am going to mix these three colors. Red, yellow, and blue mixed together. And I'm gonna get hopefully a brownish color that won't be too bright. So I'll show you in just 2 seconds. So I have blue, red, and yellow. So I first mix the orange with my red and my yellow. That's a nice orange. And now I'm gonna make it darker with a blue. Doesn't matter what kind of blue you get or you have, it's a darker one. So I want to do like a neutral color to draw the outline. Make sure you mix enough paint and you don't run out of paint later. This paint we will cover after with more layers. Okay, so I'm gonna set the outline. So I want my ball from here to here. The bottom maybe. Let me see, actually just maybe a little bit lower maybe. The bottom over here. This is just a very rough sketch. Don't put too much paint on it. Just very big shapes. So I have the shape of my grapes over here, just a journal shape. And I have a bigger one right here. I have one banana over here. Another one at the back. You see that I'm not really putting lots of detail with just a big shape. That's my apple. An orange over here. And then a pear at the back. We'll see how much it takes us to finish this. If we don't finish this class, we can always complete it next class. And now I'm just grabbing my paint and just a little bit, and I am doing a little bit of the dark areas to know more about like like a 3D space. So wherever I see that is dark on the picture, I see shadows, I just put a little bit of paint there, so it kind of indicates the shadows, and it gives it a little bit more of a 3D So I think I'll leave it like that. That's my outline. And I'll give you a few minutes to finish yours. Let's do the table at the back. It's over here. Okay, so my outline is definitely not perfect, but I like how where things are. So maybe if you want to make your grapes just a little bit higher, larger, you can always fix that. And maybe let's start with our greens. So let's start with our pear at the back here. So we will have sorry, let me just put something under my camera. There we go. So let's mix our green. I will start with a darker green and then go lighter. So to mix green, I need yellow and blue. More yellow. If you have a darker blue, that's okay. You just add more yellow or white. So this is the green I have right now. I like it. It's a dark green. So I'm just gonna put it here at the bottom. Now I'm gonna add more yellow. And I have to do this quickly just because I don't want my paint to dry. I think this too greenish. So I'm going to add white. And now I add even more white. You don't have to blend everything. Make sure you see the difference between the three colors or the three kind of greens. I have a dark green, a medium green, and a light green. So look at your reference picture and try to see what kind of green are you seeing on a specific point, and then just don't blend it. So that is my pear. After it dries, we will do the black stem, but let's leave it. I might just put it, just try to make sure the shape, the overall shape is good, that you like it. Okay, so now that I have green and yellows on my palette, I'm just gonna continue to the bananas, just to keep using that, what I have. So I have a little bit of a green color. So I want to make this greenish yellow right here. So I'm just gonna grab the yellow, or sorry, the green I have already. Oh my. So I just grabbed the green I have already on my palette and just add more yellow. And maybe a little bit of white. Lots of yellow. I'm gonna add one tiny drop of red. To make it darker. And I do this area. where I see the shadows or the darker colors. So I'm just going to repeat that. I had my green for my hair. I added more yellow, and I did this top part of my bananas. Then I added red, just a little drop, and I'm doing the bottom parts, or where I see that it is a little bit darker. And I'm just adding more red, more blue to make it a little bit darker. So right here, this is behind. And I'm just grabbing my yellow and adding a tiny bit of that color. If you're having trouble getting your yellows, you can let me know. I can help you. So basically, to make this green yellow darker, I just add red, a tiny, tiny drop. So I have yellow, white, and I mix those two together. And I add a tiny, tiny drop of blue. I put it on the side. and then mix it with my color. Even though I removed the excess, now this is too much blue, I add more yellow. So lots of yellow, just a tiny, tiny little drop of blue and white, more white. So the idea is that you get a very light, kind of lemon yellow. And we may have to do a few layers here to cover our darker color. And I'm gonna add more white. And paint again. Just the top part with more white. You see, this has more white than this. And so now I'm gonna define this area right here because it looks a little bit confusing. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of black with lots of yellow and a little bit of red. Basically, I want a very dark orange yellow color. I think it needs to be darker. So I'm just mixing a darker orange yellow again. Back to yellow, maybe with a dot of red. And I'm just adding more white again to go over the light areas of yellow. I think we're almost done with our bananas. And I'm gonna clean my brush and grab just pure white. Put it on my yellow, but it's almost just white. And just do a little highlight over here. Just a very small area, almost pure white. And on this side, it could be right over here, I think. Okay, so those are my bananas. I'll give you 2 minutes to finish yours. I'm gonna clean my brush. Actually, no, I'll just leave it like that because I have yellow right here. We're gonna do the orange. So we will use the yellow that's on my brush. Okay, so let's keep going. So let's start with our orange. So Same thing, we're gonna do 3 oranges. So the dark here, medium here, and light here. So I always start with dark first, and then just I add white. So I'm sure you know by now, to mix orange, you do yellow and red. And I'm gonna add a little drop of blue, just to get a dark orange. And I test it over here. That is too light, so I'm gonna add a little bit more blue to my orange. I suggest that you mix enough orange for the entire orange, so you don't have to continue mixing after. You just add white as you go lighter. Just gonna test. So that looks orange, but I think it's too red. So I'm gonna add more yellow. Let's see now. Yeah, a little bit more orange, not so red. So I'm gonna add a little bit of blue to make it darker. Or you can also add a little bit of black, just a tiny, tiny drop. to get a darker color. Just over here where it's darker. I'm gonna wipe my brush and I'm gonna keep going with my orange. And after I have that, I'm gonna add white and yellow. To the orange I had to make it lighter. And now I'm just adding almost just white, maybe a little bit more orange, just at the top. It's too red again. I'm gonna add more yellow. That's why you should always test the color on a separate piece of paper to make sure you like it, or that it is the right color, the right value. And the apple is nice and curved. There we go. That's my orange. So I think now you should have the idea. So anytime I'm doing a fruit or an object, I mix the main color. So let's say orange. Then I add the opposite color from the color wheel to make it darker, and I do the darker areas. So anytime I mix a color, I mix a lot of orange, let's say this time, I grab one corner of my orange to make the darker color. So I added blue to this side. Then I had my original orange still over here, and I did this area. Then I added a little bit more yellow and more white here for this area. And then just at the end, I added just pure, almost just pure white for the top. So it's easier if you mix enough color for the entire thing. Grab one section to make it darker, one section to leave it just the original color, and one section to make it lighter. So if you need to go to fix something and go back to the darker area, you still have some on your palette. That will make it easier. And so that's how we are going to do our apple next. And I think we'll finish the apple, and then we'll leave it. We'll finish for this class after we are done with the apple, and then we'll finish the rest of the painting next class. It is a long painting, but I think it's a lot of fun too. So apple is red. The apple is red, so don't pay attention to the colors here. They're already dry. So let me grab my red. So I have red. I'm gonna put a drop of yellow and a drop of blue. And I will combine it and make green. If you remember from other classes, to make red darker, we add the opposite color, which is green. So I'm gonna grab my red here. If you have a brighter red, that's okay. Just add more green. Mine is quite dark already, so I do not need to add too much green. And it's not, well, yes, it is to make it darker, but it is also to make it more opaque, not as bright. So I'm gonna test it over here. Oh, that's very dark, which is fine. So I have my red. On one area, I do my darker red. And I'm gonna look at the picture and see where do I see this darker red? So on the edges. I think we could go even darker. You can also add a drop of black to your red. So I have the black here. Just gonna add it here. Okay, and now I'm gonna wipe my brush and I'm gonna grab a little bit of that orange that I had before, and I'm gonna add it to one section of my red to see how it looks. We will do more layers. I just added a drop of yellow. For my second layer here. We'll go back to that color again later. I'm just gonna add white and yellow to the red I have here. Maybe I need more yellow. And as always, this painting will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you wanna keep working, maybe on your bananas if you didn't finish, or something else, you can always check YouTube and complete or work on the area that you need to work on. So notice that the closer I get to the middle, my red should be lighter. And this is just white. And that's my apple. One thing, just make sure the edge is nice and straight. So grab quite a bit of paint on your brush. It's easier. Grab your brush from farther back and then just go over your edge. And make sure the areas between two fruits are nice and defined. I'm almost using pure black here for this shadow. Okay, that is my apple.